Nah, for real.
Reality TV.
Reality TV. Nah, back in the day when rap first started out, okay, it was real brothers talking about real issues. Okay, I mean it was like it was a message in the rap. It was like you could relate because it was brothers that came from your hood talking about issues that that you were going through at the time. You know, with the poverty, with the gangs and the drugs and all that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then their rap was like a story. It was like, okay, this is what I went through, but this is what I did to overcome it, to get out of it. You know, now, man, rap is like it's about smacking your bitch and smoking your joint. You know, it's about money. It's about jewelry. It's about cars. It's about disrespecting women, man.
Public enemy.
Yeah, you know. Well, I mean,
fight the power.
I kind of like Public Enemy because they had
teacher don't know what you're talking about.
They had a message in their
seriously.
music. Nah.
The power and those.
Public Enemy had a message.
They had a message to say.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even Tupac had a message.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I prefer, even as violent as his rap was, I prefer it to some of this, denigration of women and
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that.
I have too many women. I'm around the swimming pool, and their asses are all hanging out. And,
That's why I want to quit.
I mean, that's not seriously. That's anybody. I see that anybody who really has the kind of contact can do that.
I mean,
they don't necessarily have to be talented to do it.
And the thing that kills me is that these young guys they call their women bitches. And the women call each other bitches.
Yeah, and they get mad when we call them bitches.
It's like, where's the respect?
No, but that's like,
if you want someone to respect you, then you got to respect yourself first.
Well, people, they do that all the time, man. I mean, people in this country, people are so used to calling each other names.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way they can really hit you is call you names. I mean, I see that a lot around here.
Yeah, but it's got to the point where it's acceptable,
Hip hop made it that way.
Hip hop made it that way.
Yeah, rap, cause rappers, fuck that bitch,
Yeah.
And now everybody think it's cool to say it.
It's about guns. It's about doing the wrong thing. It's not about doing the right thing anymore. And then a lot of these guys too, they rapping about hard times. They're rapping about drugs. They're rapping about the projects. They're rapping about the ghetto. Man, half of these dudes don't even know what a ghetto looked like.
Yeah.
Didn't grow up in a ghetto. Didn't grow up in a project,
Yeah.
Grew up in the suburbs, the 9-bedroom house and shit,
Yeah.
So it's all fake, man.
I know,
it's
right?
like
9-bedroom house. The parents walk around with sweaters around them.
Yeah, the cousin.
The Cosby, right? The Cosby.
That's why I want to quit. It's too. Everybody does it, and it's whack. Now it's fake.
I mean, if they can do it right, it's cool. If they didn't have to. They don't have to. You don't have to be in a war necessarily.
Remember I told you
about war.
Remember I told you too how you got those want to be rappers, but they kind of crap with Hello Kitty socks. How you rock your little socks with some football?
I mean, people like
you a hardcore rapper, but you got some Hello Kitty socks.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That's the point. But what I'm saying is that you don't necessarily have to have gone to war to sing about war.
That's like Hello Salty. That's what that is.
Spike Lee faced that
Hello
problem.
Salty.
When he made Do the Right Thing, people were saying, well, I mean, this is not a guy. This is a guy who had both parents at home. He had all his folks around him. He went to a good school. His mom was a teacher. His dad was a musician. He lived a reasonably middle-class lifestyle in Brooklyn.
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
And then he went
But he still grew up in Brooklyn.
He went to he grew up
Brooklyn.
in Brooklyn. But he faced the same thing when he made Do the Right Thing. So people were asking, well, it's not really real because he was not part of it all.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He walked around the same place every day. He went to school. He knew these characters. Otherwise, he would never have written that script. That's real.
Yeah.
I mean, I was back home like years ago. I was back when Do the Right Thing came out. I didn't even know anything about America. Except that I took a history class.
One thing you got to understand about New York. New York is the most segregated city in this country. you have so many different people of nationality living in New York, but they all live in their own neighborhoods.
Yeah.
There's no mixing. It's like you got the Italian neighborhood,
right.
The Jewish neighborhood.
Yeah, the Italians.
You got the Irish neighborhood. You got the black neighborhood. You got the Puerto Rican neighborhood. So it's even though you got a conglomerate of different cultures living there, they all live separately. So I mean, I understand when Spike Lee made that Do the Right Thing. That's basically the environment I grew up in. But I grew up in Brooklyn,
right.
and you know, and you couldn't go. Like I grew up in a project, but I couldn't go in the project across the street because I wasn't from that project. You know, and I grew up in Brooklyn, and I can tell you, before age 19, I've probably been to Harlem like 3 times. You know, you didn't go to Harlem unless you knew somebody in Harlem.
Yeah, it's still that way now. My friend was just telling me he got beat up because they asked him where he's from. He's from Harlem, but I don't know. They still jumped him anyway.
Because he said he was from Harlem.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
or something like that. I don't know.
But that's not only typical in New York. It's all over the place, man. I mean, you know, people. If you go into a city, I was in Boston at one time. I mean, black people here, black people here, and people are not allowed on each other's stuff. You know, I mean, look at black people live in Baltimore, right? They think DC black people are different.
Yeah,
same black
they
people
are.
who live right
they are, Mo.
in Baltimore, right? You know, one of the great things about watching The Wire for me was just those sociological, you know, questions. You know,
so you're saying
when gangsters meet, you know, like there's this scene in which what's the name of this character in The Wire? Stringer Bell hires a DC hitman. You know, to put the hit on his, and they were talking, and he was talking about, I don't care for DC and
okay.
people.
But he probably was from DC.
But I mean, I'm just saying that people still have those distinctions.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like people, like even in Baltimore, I'm not an East Side black. You know, I'm not a West Side.
Well, the same
I don't
thing.
care about West Side blacks.
Well, look,
that sort of thing. You know?
My daughter went to VSU, which is a historical black college.
Yeah.
Out in
Roy.
Petersburg.
I'm putting this on YouTube. When they see it, they're gonna be mad as hell.
That college is.
What they was talking about me, man?
A lot of New Yorkers go to that college. And
oh, you good? Yeah, got the fresh shape up. Reality TV logging off.
College, so it's predominantly black. But the black.
I'm gonna try to get y'all that real anthem video.
The New Yorkers. With the Virginians.
Around the 15th of this month.
I was at Howard.
World Star, holla at me. Right.
I mean, this is the place.